And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livingintheblack.com. My name is T.D. Owado, aka the Conscious Roster. Thursdays, we are live here on LIB Radio, and we deal with tech and future talk. We deal with a bunch of topics, a broad set of topics related to technologies and how they are used, including health technologies. Today's date is Thursday. It is the 15th day of May, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. Let's deal with this wonderful topic. I hope you find it to be a wonderful topic that we have on the table for today. Today on LIB Radio, the theme of the program is fibromyalgia and the autoimmune disease connection. We'll also be talking about celiac disease as well, fibromyalgia and celiac. Today on LIB Radio, we consider several factors about chronic disease and how they interact with each other. We'll look at the growing diagnoses of fibromyalgia, chronic pain throughout the body, celiac disease, which is gluten allergy, and the increasing incidence of autoimmune disorders. What connects these diseases, and how can functional medicine connect them all together and give us workable solutions to prevent and to reverse these chronic disease conditions? So that is the program here today on LIB Radio. We welcome you, our listening audience, to join us. We would love to see your face in the house today, as we are very serious. I do see my beloved sister for Africa One. I see you in the house today, and it is absolutely and undeniably a pleasure to be with you today as we take on this very, very serious subject. Now, I will be honest, I've got a lot of research that I pulled up for today's discussion, a whole lot of research. And I want to invite you to be not only a part of today's discussion, but I want you to be a part of an ongoing long-term solution for this. So we have opened up the health and wellness retreat here at our home here in Las Vegas, and we are taking people, bringing people here to eat the food. That's what it's all about. Eat this food. And I will prove today that it is a combination of raw food diet along with other lifestyle practices that functional medicine points to that will bring relief to fibromyalgia and to celiac disease. It's the food, smart person that you are. And so I want you to be beneficiary of what I have learned over these years. And I also would love it if you would hit the like button wherever you're listening today. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, wherever you are, we would love to hear from you. So we're going to go right into this topic. Now, the way I have this set up today is rather complex and complicated. So I'm going to do the best I can to keep it all together. So what I'm going to do is right now, I'm going to go to my Adobe Acrobat. That's where I have a lot of these articles set up at. And don't you know, just as soon as I go to it, it's seeking to crash. Okay, it's not crash. I'm going to go through a series of articles. There's a whole bunch of articles I'm going to be going through today. The first one up is breaking the vicious cycle of fibromyalgia. And bear with me, this is all have to be on this screen because this is much bigger over here today. Have you been living on ever increasing doses of pain medication? Have you been told to learn acceptance, prioritizing, and relaxation, etc.? Well, you don't have to do any of that anymore. Please read this vitally important article. It unveils an incredibly easy solution to ending your fibromyalgia pain naturally in as little as 7 days. My life had disintegrated. I had gone from a happy, intelligent, and healthy mom to a sluggish, stressed out, sick woman who needed someone else to take care of, wrote Maggie. Before all this started, Maggie was working part-time at a local charity. She and her caring, hardworking husband were enjoying family life with their 2 children. I was also very active in school activities, said the 42-year-old, always rushing around, so much to do and not enough time. This all changed after a car accident. Although she had been knocked around a bit with some symptoms of whiplash and no serious injuries were apparent, her recovery was much slower than expected. Afterwards, she had a couple of falls and hurt her hip. Then I really fell to pieces, said Maggie. Gradually, she found herself unable to walk or move any part of her body without severe pain. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lie comfortably, couldn't turn over, said Maggie. I woke 5 to 10 times a night. And here, bear with me. I'm going to compress this over here. And she said, I woke 5 to 10 times a night. And bear with me, this is worth waiting for. I hope. I think I may have put up too much information on my desktop, and I may have to close out some of this information, but we'll get it together. And 100%, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. And I woke up 5 to 10 times a night. I woke every morning feeling as if a truck had driven over me. I couldn't remember basic things. Left the stove on, taps running. I became this forgetful, irritable being, barely able to get out of bed and get dressed, let alone look after family, a job, all of my other commitments. Maggie had tender spots all over. She couldn't stand being touched or hugged because it hurt so much. Every movement caused excruciating pain. As time went by, Maggie had to struggle hard just to get through the day. It took a heroic effort for her to put an edible meal on the table or to get the very basic washing done. She became more and more depressed as she couldn't understand why she felt like this. So much pain and no energy and no apparent medical reason. I'm going to skip forward on this. I think we get the picture. She was feeling bad. This wasn't me. This is Maggie is now completely different from the person she was 5 months ago. She once again enjoys every moment of life. She's going to school, PTA, goes to the gym every now and then, meets friends at social events, takes kids to movies, and truly enjoys the moments of intimacy with her loving husband. Forget about acceptance, forget about awareness. That wasn't me, said Maggie. This is me. This is the Maggie everybody knows. I can't say it enough that I am so grateful. I hope everyone who has fibromyalgia syndrome can get this wonderful product and give it a try. Easy Orb has helped me put my life back on track. Now, I'm not here to promote Easy Orb, but I do want to talk about fibromyalgia today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this document and go to the next one. And this is a functional medicine approach to fibromyalgia, causes, treatments, and new frontiers. This article is from February 3rd, 2025. And it states, and I quote, fibromyalgia is a chronic condition characterized by widespread pain, fatigue, cognitive dysfunction, commonly known as fibro fog, and a host of other debilitating symptoms. Affects an estimated 2 to 4% of the population, predominantly women. Fibromyalgia often leaves patients seeking answers beyond conventional medicine. Functional medicine offers a deeper root cause focused solution, integrating emerging therapies, lifestyle changes, and cutting edge science. Fibromyalgia is a real, complex, and life altering condition. It remains one of the most misunderstood and misdiagnosed disorders in modern medicine. Patients are often told that their pain, quote, it's all in their head, unquote, or that they're just experiencing stress or depression. Instead of addressing the root causes, conventional medicine frequently resorts to prescribing antidepressants, painkillers, and muscle relaxers, treating the symptoms rather than the underlying cause. While fibromyalgia may be associated with mood disorders, bear with me here. I got this on Adobe and I'm on Acrobat, and I'm not used to using Acrobat during so. While fibromyalgia can be associated with mood disorders, it is not a mental illness. Let me stress that. While it has been associated with mood disorders, it is not a mental illness, nor is it simply due to depression or anxiety. Research has shown that fibromyalgia is a disorder of central pain processing, meaning the brain and nervous system amplify pain signals abnormally. Fibromyalgia has become a default diagnosis when doctors cannot explain widespread pain, fatigue, and other symptoms. However, many individuals diagnosed with fibromyalgia may actually have an underlying undiagnosed condition contributing to their symptoms. A study in arthritis care and research found that nearly 50% of patients meeting the criteria for fibromyalgia were not diagnosed by their doctors, while 11% of patients diagnosed with fibromyalgia did not meet the criteria. So what we have here is a case of doctors misdiagnosing fibromyalgia. Nearly 50%, it was undiagnosed, and 11%, it was diagnosed, but likely not accurate. Continuing with this document, this means fibromyalgia is both underdiagnosed and overdiagnosed, often serving as a catch-all for unexplained symptoms. Many cases of chronic pain and fatigue are rooted in issues such as 1. Chronic infections. Examples given: Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, and mold toxicity. 2. Thyroid dysfunction, often undiagnosed hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's disease. 3. Nutrient deficiencies such as magnesium, vitamin D, and B vitamins, and mitochondrial dysfunction, leading to low cellular energy production, and 4 and 5, gut biosis and leaky gut, which drives systemic inflammation and pain. Fibromyalgia has been described as a systems wide breakdown rather than a disease with a single cause, which is why it is so difficult to understand and to treat. Now, of everything that I have read in the last 24 hours on fibromyalgia, on celiac disease, on autoimmune diseases, that was very, very critically important. What I am going to do is I'm going to copy that section right now and paste that section in what I have here. And this is also from, let me give you the title of this. This is also from, and bear with me, there's more to read, but I'm going to put this in the record. This is from an article entitled A Functional Medicine Approach to Fibromyalgia, Causes, Treatments, and New Frontiers. So I'm going to just take that piece, post that up here, and we're going to continue. From this same article. Now, let me go back to where I was. So it dealt with the following. I'm going to repeat this small section. Many cases of chronic pain and fatigue are rooted in such issues as chronic infections, Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, mold toxicity. That's one came up. 2, thyroid dysfunction. There was a lot of information on this. Undiagnosed hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's disease. 3, nutrient deficiencies such as magnesium, vitamin D, and B vitamins. All of those came up in my studies. 4, mitochondrial dysfunction, leading to low cellular energy production. That's your mitochondria. That points to a metabolic disorder. And 5, gut dysbiosis and leaky gut, which drive systemic inflammation and pain. All 5 of those are going to be our focus. Let's go. Understanding the root causes of fibromyalgia. Functional medicine views fibromyalgia as a syndrome driven by multiple underlying factors. Addressing these root causes helps create a personalized treatment approach. Number 1, mitochondrial dysfunction. Mitochondria, the powerhouses of cells, play a crucial role in energy production. Research has indicated that mitochondrial dysfunction can lead to impaired energy metabolism and oxidative stress, both of which may contribute to fibromyalgia symptoms. A study published in Clinical Rheumatology found increased markers of oxidative stress and reduce antioxidant capacity in fibromyalgia patients, suggesting mitochondrial involvement. Point 2, chronic inflammation. Systemic low-grade inflammation has been implicated in fibromyalgia. Elevated levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines like interleukin-6 and TNF-alpha have been observed in patients. Functional medicine providers aim to identify sources of inflammation, such as gut dysbiosis, hidden infections, or food insensitivities, and address them to reduce the inflammatory burden. Now, I did find, and this is relevant in the studies, there were crossovers between fibromyalgia and celiac disease. So when they talk about food sensitivities, the allergy we know as celiac disease definitely would come into play. Number 3, the gut-brain axis dysfunction. The gut-brain axis, a bi-directional communication system between the gastrointestinal tract and the central nervous system, plays a significant role in fibromyalgia. Studies have found that up to 70% of fibromyalgia patients also have irritable bowel syndrome, or in this particular case, celiac disease, dysbiosis, imbalance of gut bacteria, and intestinal permeability. Leaky gut can amplify systemic inflammation and contribute to neuroinflammation, a hallmark of fibromyalgia. Stress and the HPA axis dysregulation. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, HPA axis, which governs the stress response, is often dysregulated in fibromyalgia patients. Chronic stress can lead to the elevated cortisol levels initially, followed by adrenal fatigue and reduced cortisol, impairing the body's ability to handle pain and inflammation effectively. Next, number 5, fascial dysfunctions and scar tissue. Emerging research suggests the fascia, the connective tissue network surrounded muscles and organs, can contribute to fibromyalgia. Restricted fascia and adhesions from scar tissue may trap crystalline water deposits, causing localized stiffness and amplifying pain signals. And number 6, neurological sensitization. Central sensitization, where the nervous system becomes hypersensitive to stimuli, is often a well-documented feature of fibromyalgia. Functional medicine seeks to identify triggers that perpetuate this state, such as nutritional deficiencies, sleep disturbances, or environmental toxins. Now, all of that becomes so very important. I'm going to copy and paste all of that into this side document, which is very critically necessary. Going forward, I'm excited. I hope you find this to be excited. I'm really learning a lot. A functional medicine approach to treatment. Functional medicine combines evidence-based therapies with individualized care, focusing on lifestyle changes, nutrition, and emerging interventions. Functional medicine does not exclude Western medicine, yet it always looks for a better analysis and/or solution. That's a very important point. Number 1, lifestyle and nutrition strategies. Nutrition plays a crucial role in managing fibromyalgia. A whole food, anti-inflammatory diet can reduce systemic inflammation, and enhance energy levels. Your doctor may recommend an elimination diet, an anti-inflammatory diet, a low FODMAP diet, or even a vegan diet based on your situation. Functional medicine provider will often recommend beginning with an elimination diet, identifying and removing trigger foods such as gluten, dairy, or sugar can reduce inflammation and gut-related symptoms. Studies suggest that up to 30% of fibromyalgia patients improve after dietary modifications. Transitioning to an anti-inflammatory, whole food, nutrient-dense diet. High quality proteins, including grass-fed meat, organic poultry, and wild-caught fish to support muscle repair and reduce inflammation. Point 2, fiber-rich vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, enhance detoxification pathways. Number 3, omega-3 fatty acids. found in wild-caught fish, flax seeds, and walnuts. These reduce inflammation and pain perception. Polyphenols, foods like berries, turmeric, which is curcumin, and green tea support antioxidant defenses and mitigate oxidative stress. Gluten and dairy elimination. Removing common inflammatory foods may reduce gut-related symptoms and systemic inflammation. Then there is support for blood sugar stability. And here, let me do this. Let me put all of this into this other document that I'm maintaining here. Copy and paste it here. And go back. And let's pick it up. Support for blood sugar stability. Maintaining balanced blood sugar is critical for reducing the energy crashes and fatigue common in fibromyalgia. Practitioners often recommend one, eating balanced meals with protein, healthy fats, and fiber, avoiding refined sugars and processed carbohydrates. Sleep optimization. Fibromyalgia is closely linked to poor sleep quality. Functional medicine approaches include one, supporting melatonin production with magnesium and tryptophan-rich foods, and two, implementing sleep hygiene practices such as consistent sleep schedules and reduced blue light exposure before bed. Very, very important. I hope you are listening. I hope you are in the house today because we are on a roll. I am just double checking the feed. I do see more of our beautiful family, our lovely family has joined us. Basuranda Ujao, Nguvu Sawabona. Nguvu says, not going to be able to hear all of the show today, but could you talk on environmental and genetic impact on this or any autoimmune condition? Nguvu, you got it. You got it. You got right at the heart of it. For one, we do know it is directly connected to other conditions. So I'm finding fibromyalgia, celiac disease, and gut dysbiosis are all on the same page. But the environmental exposures, when we create the proper environmental exposures with nutrition, and I have found, we're going to get to it here, the best diet for combating this has been shown to be the raw vegan superfood diet. I am already doing this. This is the raw vegan superfood diet. So therefore, the best way to deal with it is to go all the way. Raw vegan superfoods. We do know that that's the best diet to deal with cancer diagnosis. There is a hierarchy of eating styles that I documented in the book, Living Superfood Research. And please, 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 people, I cannot state enough. You really do need to get the books that I write. I don't like going over stuff a bunch of times. I did pull off one book off the shelf today, and I got to pull a second book off the shelf today. And the one that I pulled out a little bit earlier is called Living Superfood Solutions. This book is all about using dietary strategies that prevent or reverse chronic diseases. Bear with me here while I try and get it up on the screen. I have a green screen and it doesn't work real well. It does work okay, but it's hard on different colors. And then the other book I pulled off the shelf today is 100 Plus Lifespan, Dietary Strategies or Strategies to Increase Healthy Life Expectancy. And in the reason I pulled this book off today is because of Appendix 1 in the book. Appendix 1 is entitled Inflammation and Disease. And in Appendix 1, the appendix to the book, I make a list of all known diseases associated with autoimmune disorder and inflammation. There are 161 items listed in this book. 161, including autoimmune disorders. And I'm pretty sure, let me be very critical here, that I do very specifically have fibromyalgia is in here. And also fibromyalgia is number 56. Fibromyalgia, here's what I wrote. Fibromyalgia is a chronic rheumatic condition that causes widespread pain throughout the body, including tender points where it is worst. Although it is commonly said not to be an autoimmune disease, fibromyalgia is best understood and treated as a central inflammatory syndrome. And then another one that I have in here is celiac disease. Celiac is number, I don't have it in here. I will add it at the end of the program. I may have, yeah, I do have it in here. Celiac disease. It's just, this is in alphabetical order, but I have it out of order. About number 34, celiac disease is a serious autoimmune disease that involves the immune system's reaction to gluten. Over time, this systemic, over time, bear with me, this sustains chronic inflammation that damages the small intestine's lining, leading to medical complications. It also prevents the absorption of some nutrients, malabsorption. So I do talk a lot about autoimmune diseases. I do mention specifically AUTO, immune diseases, lupus, sarcoidosis, multiple sclerosis, allergies, etc. I could put in there celiac disease. I could put in fibromyalgia. Under lupus or under autoimmune disorders, I could list 62 or more different diseases. So this is all very, very important for understanding. So I'm proud to say I've been writing about this stuff for years. Today, I'm taking it to a new level. Thank you for your commentary. I appreciate you, Brother Nguvu. Could you please leave the links, etc., comment section as the chat section goes away when you sign off. I'm going to put the link to the books. I do put the links to the books. Nguvu, you get the links to the books. The books mentioned today, I'll mention right here, the books mentioned today include 100 plus life span and living superfood solutions. They can be purchased at http://kidi.biz/CRP1 CRP 2012. Now, here's the thing in Google, and I hope you do understand. I got to sell these books. These books are not moving, not nearly fast enough. I've been giving away more of the books than I've been selling. That is an unsustainable position. I kind of feel like I've been abandoned by everybody. I don't know whether it's punishment for something that I have done, but it is humiliating to work so hard on bringing this information that will improve people's lives, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to understand it. They don't want to solve the problem, not just for themselves, but for other members of the family and friends, etc. Fibromyalgia expected to impact 2 to 4% of the population. That's not a lot of people. But that does mean if you know 100 people, then 2 to 4 of them are dealing with this condition. So in Google, I'm asking for your help. We've got to do better. I'm going to go back to the text. Sleep optimization fibromyalgia is closely linked to poor sleep quality. Functional medicine approaches include supporting melatonin production with magnesium and tryptophan-rich foods, implementing sleep hygiene practices such as consistent sleep schedules and reduced blue light exposure before bed, movement therapy, graded exercise therapy tailored to individual tolerance is critical. Gentle, low impact exercises improve flexibility, reduce stiffness, and enhance mitochondrial health. Recommended activities include yoga, tai chi, and aquatic therapy, swimming. That's very good. Mind-body therapies. Chronic stress and dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system play a major role in fibromyalgia. Many patients have a constant fight or flight response, leading to heightened pain perception. Stress reduction through mind-body practices can regulate the HPA axis. That's the what we call it, the high. Oh, I don't want to think about it. I said it a little bit earlier. HPA axis. What did I say? Let me get it right. HPA axis, functional medicine approach. I don't have it handy. I'll expect me to come back with that when you ask for it next time. And reduce central sensitization. Emerging research supports the efficacy of 1, mindfulness-based stress reduction, 2, cognitive behavioral therapy, 3, biofeedback, 4, heart rate variability training and breath work to regulate the nervous system, meditation, yoga, and Tai Chi to promote relaxation, and cold exposure therapy to improve nervous system resilience. Number 5, addressing chronic infections and toxic overload. Chronic infections such as Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, and mold toxicity can mimic fibromyalgia. Many patients find relief after treating underlying infections and detoxifying the environmental toxins. Test for hidden infections and heavy metals. Support detox pathways with saunas, binders like activated charcoal, and glutathione. Reduce exposure to mold, pesticides, and endocrine disruptors. 6, improving sleep and, bear with me, get this thing out of my way. Improving sleep and restorative healing. Poor sleep worsens fibromyalgia symptoms. Studies show that, I hate this, what's happening, something keeps popping up on the screen. It covers up where I'm reading. Poor sleep worsens fibromyalgia symptoms. Studies show that deep sleep is crucial for pain modulation and recovery. Establish a strict sleep schedule and eliminate blue light exposure before going to bed. Use magnesium and glycine to promote deep restorative sleep. Consider red light therapy and melatonin for circadian rhythm support. Very important. Key supplements. This is also very important. Supplements and medications. Supplements. Functional medicine providers often incorporate evidence-based supplements, including magnesium and malic acid for muscle relaxation, pain reduction, and energy production, CoQ10 and acetyl-L-carnitine supplementation to enhance ATP production and reduce oxidative stress. I'm taking 3 of those 4. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, Curcumin is a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant and has been shown to reduce pain and improve overall symptom management in fibromyalgia patients by modulating inflammatory pathways and supporting mitochondrial health. Vitamin D improves pain sensitivity and immune function. Probiotics and prebiotics enhance gut health and reduce systemic inflammation. Alpha lipoic acid and B vitamins to support energy metabolism. And low dose naltrexone. I don't know anything about that. Low dose naltrexone is a promising prescription therapy that modulates the immune system and reduces inflammation. It works by calming overactive microglia, that's a word, in the central nervous system, reducing hypersensitivity to pain. Now they're talking about medicines, and I do want to point out another book that all of the supplements mentioned are in this book. This is one of my favorite books. I've been pulling this off the shelf so many times. Living Superfood Longevity. All of those ones listed are in chapter 14, which is entitled My Arsenal of Anti-Aging Supplements, Living Superfood Longevity. Sulfur containing compounds DMSO and MSM. MSM, methylsulfomethane, is a sulfur containing compound known for its anti-inflammatory and pain relieving properties, which may benefit fibromyalgia by reducing muscle soreness, supporting joint health, which is what I've been using it for, and aiding detoxificator pathways. Since fibromyalgia is often linked to chronic inflammation, mitochondrial dysfunction, and toxin overload, MSM's role in enhancing glutathione production and cellular energy may help alleviate symptoms. Some studies suggest it can improve physical function and pain levels. Though more research is needed, I can definitely provide my share of testimony. Some studies suggest it can improve physical function and pain levels, although much more research is needed. Starting with 1 to 3 grams daily and eventually increasing may offer benefits, but those with sulfur sensitivities should proceed cautiously. That's always good advice. DMSO, dimethyl sulfide. Also, a sulfur-containing compound has drawn interest for its anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties. Its unique ability to penetrate the skin and deliver compounds into systemic circulation offers potential for localized and widespread relief. I am loving this article. And DMSO can inhibit nerve conduction to reduce pain perception, reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha, improve blood flow and tissue oxygenation. While promising, DMSO should only be used under professional guidance to minimize risks like toxin transport or organ stress. I'll repeat that warning. While promising, DMSO should only be used under professional guidance to minimize risk like toxic transport or organ stress. And we must never ignore these warnings. We're almost finished with this article. I am finding this fascinating, and we got more to go. Emerging therapies in functional medicine. Platelet-rich plasma. Oh, we're getting now into regenerative medicine. Platelet-rich plasma therapy for fibromyalgia. Platelet-rich plasma, PRP therapy, is an emerging treatment for fibromyalgia that leverages the body's own healing mechanism. By injecting concentrated platelets rich in growth factors into areas of pain, such as trigger points, joints, or fascia, PRP can reduce inflammation, provide tissue repair, and modulate pain pathways. Preliminary research indicates that PRP may provide significant long-lasting relief from pain and stiffness while improving mobility and overall quality of life. Since PRP uses the patient's own blood, it carries minimal risk of reverse reactions, making it a promising option for those seeking alternative or adjunct treatments for fibromyalgia. Hey, listen, I'm going to go forward. It does have a number of other suggestions here, such as number 2, fascia focused therapies. Again, fascia is this network of protein fiber material that incorporates our whole body. It talks about peptide therapy using peptides, which are manufactured by the body. Peptides are like protein. Peptides like BPC 157 and thymosin beta 4. Psychedelic assisted therapy, yeah, using psychedelics. Genomics and precision medicine, oh yeah. And so the functional medicine difference, I'm going to close with this. Fibromyalgia demands a multifaceted approach that addresses the body as an interconnected system, or a body as a set of 18 interconnected systems, including the central or the nervous system, the neurological system, and also includes the bioenergetic system, and also includes the digestive system, the gut system. All of these are involved in fibromyalgia. So as interconnected systems, functional medicine excels at uncovering root causes, integrating emerging therapies, and personalized care. By targeting mitochondrial function, reducing systemic inflammation, optimizing fascia health, and leveraging cutting-edge treatments like DMSO and peptides, patients can find relief and reclaim their quality of life. If you or a loved one is struggling with fibromyalgia, there is hope. Functional medicine provides individualized care, addressing the unique drivers of your symptoms. At Resolve Medical, we specialize in root cause focused interventions, empowering patients to take control of their health. And I want to thank the group there, Root Cause Medicine, or Resolve Medicine, for putting this document together. This document was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go to the next one. And I'm going to skip over a functional medicine guide to fibromyalgia, and I want to focus now on celiac disease. This next article is entitled How Celiac Disease Affects the Body and How to Manage It. And this is what it has to say. And celiac disease. This is from May 1st, 2025, written by Kevin Famuyiro. And it sounds like a Japanese name, but I'm looking at a black man's picture, so you figure it out. Celiac disease is a serious autoimmune disorder that begins with something as small as a crumb of bread, triggered by gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. It causes the immune system to attack the small intestine, leading to inflammation and long-term complications if left untreated. This condition only develops in people with specific genetic markers, and it does list 3 genetic markers: HLA, DQ2, or DQ8. Although celiac disease affects 0.5 to 2% of the global population, it often remains undiagnosed, especially outside of Western countries. So it asks a series of questions. 1, what is celiac disease? In celiac disease, the immune system mistakes gluten for a threat and mounts an attack that damages the small intestine. This response causes villus atrophy, where the tiny finger-like projections, the villi, responsible for nutrient absorption, shrink and flatten. The result, poor absorption of nutrients, which can lead to fatigue, digestive distress, anemia, and more. And let me just say this, is as I pull another book off the shelf, this was recently covered in the book, The Stem Cell Revolution: Holistic and Natural Procedures for Activating Stem Cell, or for Stem Cell Activation and Proliferation. So that's another one. These villi in the digestive tract are the fastest growing cells in our body. So because of that, the fastest growing cells in the body makes this really useful for those who want to replace that. In 2 to 3 days, you using stem cells, the stem cell is the source of the new villi. The villi, you grow new ones and you replace the old ones. And therefore, you very quickly reset the environment in which this is taking place. Now, that was a little bit of a distraction. My mind was on 2 or 3 things at one time while I explained it, but that's in the book, Stem Cell Revolution. Going forward, the only treatment is strict gluten-free diet. With careful planning and label reading, people with celiac disease can manage their symptoms and prevent complications. Now, I did hear of one other treatment. It was considered to be experimental, but it basically consisted of dealing with raw food to reset the environment and then taking on small samples, small doses of the celiac or the gluten and resetting the system. But for right now, we're going to stick with this one. The only treatment is a strict gluten-free diet with careful planning and label reading. People with celiac disease can manage their symptoms and prevent complications. Next, they talk about genetics and the immune response. You need to carry the HLA-DQ2 or DQ8 genes to develop celiac disease, but not everyone with these genes gets sick. Think of these genes as the key. They open the door, but you still have to walk through it. These genetic markers are also linked to other autoimmune disorders, increasing the risk of overlapping conditions. When gluten is consumed, the immune system produces inflammatory cells and antibodies that attack the intestinal lining. This ongoing inflammation impairs digestion and can lead to widespread issues, including bone weakness and nutrient deficiencies. Now, real quickly, I want to size this document. View, page, navigation. I want to review single page view. Okay, there we go. Genetics and the immune response. I read the first paragraph. Ooh. When gluten is consumed, the immune system produces inflammatory cells and antibodies that attack the intestinal lining. This ongoing inflammation impairs digestion and can lead to widespread issues, including bone weakness and nutrient deficiencies. The World Journal of Gastrointestinal Pathophysiology notes, quote, villus atrophy fundamentally disrupts normal digestion and absorption, resulting in multiple organ impacts. Common symptoms of celiac disease. Celiac disease doesn't look the same for everyone. Symptoms can be obvious or silent. They may include Digestive symptoms such as bloating, diarrhea, and abdominal pain might include non-digestive systems such as fatigue, skin rashes like dermatitis or herpes formis, iron deficiency anemia, and joint or bone pain. Some people have no gut issues at all, but still suffer internal damage. That's why antibody testing, like the anti-tissue transglutamase anti-TTG test, is vital for diagnosis. American Family Physician explains that serological testing has revolutionized early detection even in minimally symptomatic patients. How celiac is diagnosed. Diagnosis involves a multi-step process. Number one, serological testing. Doctors check for antibodies like anti-TTG in the blood. Two, intestinal biopsy. A biopsy, which is tearing a piece of tissue out of your stomach, confirms villus atrophy by analyzing a small tissue sample. I could not recommend that. Three, genetic testing. In certain cases, genetic testing for HLA-DQ2, DQ8 can help. The American Journal of Gastroenterology notes, quote, genetic testing is particularly valuable when the diagnosis remains uncertain, close quote. Complications and related conditions. Untreated celiac disease can lead to 1, malnutrition, 2, osteoporosis, 3, can lead to, bear with me, where did it go? Undiagnosed can lead to 3, infertility. Again, untreated celiac disease can lead to malnutrition, osteoporosis, and infertility. That's very important. And fourth, slightly increased mortality risk. Celiac disease is also linked with other autoimmune disorders like type 1 diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. Some patients may develop refractory celiac disease, where symptoms persist despite a gluten-free diet. Refractory disease. Others may experience conditions like lactose intolerance or irritable bowel syndrome as coexisting issues. And we had identified celiac disease with fibromyalgia earlier in the dialogue. The treatment, a gluten-free diet for life. There's no cure, just one proven treatment, a strict, lifelong gluten-free diet. This means alleviating symptoms, healing the intestine, and preventing complications. Most people feel better within weeks, though full healing may take months or years, depending on severity and age at diagnosis. Regular checkups and guidance from a dietitian can help ensure nutritional balance. The American Family Physician states, quote, patients benefiting from ongoing nutritional counseling to optimize long-term outcomes. Patients benefit from this ongoing nutritional counseling. Foods to avoid. Gluten is found primarily in wheat, barley, rye, and triticale. I don't know what triticale means. Let me see if I can find that real quickly. Triticale. What is triticale? What is triticale? And that will have the answer here on my desk in just a second. Triticale represents a hybrid of wheat and rye. So at first, is a hybrid, first appeared during the late 19th century in Scotland and Germany. Commercially available triticale is almost always a second generation hybrid, a cross between two kinds of primary triticales. So wheat barley, rye, and triticale. Gluten is also found in products made from these grains. Examples given: bread, pasta, baked goods. Also in processed foods with hidden sources like modified food starch and malt flavoring. So yeah, got to read those labels. got to read those labels. Reading labels is critical. Avoid even trace amounts of gluten is essential to prevent damage, to prevent symptoms and long-term damage. Eating out with celiac disease, dining out can be tricky, if not impossible. Many restaurants now offer gluten-free options and prepare, ask about preparation methods and cross-contamination risks. Carry a gluten-free dining card to help explain your needs. With planning, eating out can still be safe and enjoyable. Hey, listen, I don't eat out. I very rarely eat out. I don't have any of these issues, and I'm very, very pleased that I don't have these issues. But eating out, it is risky because the people who prepare these foods probably are not affected by these conditions and wouldn't even understand when you complain that you can't have gluten at all. So for people who do eat out, hopefully you don't have the condition. But if you're like me, I prefer to make the food on my own. Celiac and other autoimmune conditions. Not Harvard, having celiac disease raises the risk of developing other autoimmune disorders like autoimmune thyroid disease and type 1 diabetes. This is due to shared genetic and immune system triggers. Managing celiac disease with a gluten-free diet is not only improves gut health, but also may help reduce systematic inflammation and lower the risk of additional autoimmune issues. Final thoughts. Celiac disease is a genetic autoimmune condition that causes intestinal and systemic damage when gluten is consumed. Its symptoms vary widely, from digestive problems to silent nutrient deficiencies. But the path forward is clear. Early diagnosis, followed by lifelong gluten avoidance. With commitment and proper medical guidance, people with celiac disease can lead healthy, vibrant lives. That was a very good article. I'm going to go forward. We got more on the table, and I've got another 25 minutes or so. I'm going to talk about a functional medicine celiac disease protocol, specialty testing, nutrient, and supplementation. So I'm going to just expand this view to page width, single page view. Now that was already at single page view. Let me make it to page width. Where is it at? Page view, no, zoom, that's it. Zoom to fit width, that's what I'm looking for. A functional medicine celiac disease protocol, specialty testing, nutrition, and supplements. And I didn't get a chance. Wait. I wanted to talk about functional. I have a bunch of articles. I had too many of these articles out. I pulled a lot of them last night and I needed to go through them again a second time before the show. And I want to switch to the microbiome. That's it. So I'm going to skip that last article. I do recommend you do get it, you read it. But this next article I'm going to switch to is entitled Fibromyalgia and the Microbiome. So I'm zooming this to page width. Boom. And here's what it has to say. In 2019, researchers in Montreal were the first to demonstrate a link between the alteration of the gut microbiome and fibromyalgia. Background. Fibromyalgia is a chronic disorder that causes pain all over the body, fatigue, sleep disturbance, and altered cognition which significantly impairs the lives of approximately 2 to 4% of the Canadian adult population. There is no specific test for fibromyalgia, so diagnosis occurs when there is widespread pain for more than 3 months with no underlying medical condition that could cause the pain. Treatment focuses on pain management, physical therapy, occupational therapy, lifelong lifestyle management, and counseling. In recent years, research has focused on the critical role that the gut microbiome plays in several conditions, including digestive, cardiovascular, metabolic, and psychiatric disorders. This is in providing increased understanding of the breadth of the, not breadth, of the brain gut axis. Again, this is providing increased understanding of the brain gut axis, which is the relationship between the central nervous system and the gut microbiota and how it affects pain perception and processing. Results from several animal and human studies have shown that the gut microbiota has a pivotal role in the development of pain arising from internal organs, visceral pain. Unfortunately, evidence for disorders that involve pain arising from nerve endings of the skin, muscles, and soft tissues, non-visceral pain, such as fibromyalgia, is scarce. However, some studies show that those who have fibromyalgia often have a comorbidity of irritable bowel syndrome, which researchers speculate may point to a common dysregulation in the brain gut axis, BGA. So, study details. For this analysis, the researchers classified participants into two main groups, those with fibromyalgia and those without it. Group 1, 77 women with a fibromyalgia diagnosis aged 30 to 60. Group 2, 79 control participants, which had subgroups consisting of A, first-degree adult female relatives of patients in the study as genetic controls, and B, household members of patients in the study as environmental controls, women and men aged 30 to 70 years of age, and C, unrelated healthy women 30 to 60 years of age. Exclusion criteria included major chronic illness, antibiotic treatment in the preceding 2 months, any acute illness in the preceding month, change in regularly taken medication in the preceding month, and substantial dietary alterations in the preceding month. A physician specializing in pain management interviewed all patient control and control participants, collecting a wide range of data, both in person and via questionnaires, such as demographics, body measurements, medications, dietary intake, physical activity, alcohol intake, smoking, symptom severity, physical functioning, sleep quality, anxiety and depression, and pain location. Researchers made note of comorbidities at all medications participants were taking. All produced a stool sample for laboratory analysis. A registered dietitian also interviewed the participants and instructed them on how to monitor their diet intake accurately. Now, that was a very, very important paragraph, and I'm going to copy that paragraph and paste this to this other document that I have. And we're going to paste this there. And I'm going to copy this title as well, so I'll know where this came from. So bear with me, fibromyalgia and the gut microbiome. So paste this one in here as well and go to the end and let's continue. Study details. Findings. Investigators found that there were no significant differences in sample diversity among participants. However, when analyzing the stool samples for microbiota DNA, they detected the highest amount of microbiome variants in participants diagnosed with fibromyalgia. They discovered that the gut microbiota of fibromyalgia patients had a distinct profile characterized by 19 different species, each of which were detected to be either higher or lower than in the healthy control group. Bacteria such as Flavinifractor plauti and Parabacteroides murdae occurred in higher amounts, whereas bacterium such as Faecalbacterium prusnitzi, and one of the most abundant and important good bacteria of the human gut biota occurred in lesser quantities. While results portray that participants with fibromyalgia have an altered gut microbiome composition, the researchers acknowledge that although their study is the first of its kind, it was a small sampling, and they encourage more research to explore this interesting area. And I do definitely agree. I think we've got enough time to deal with a little bit more of this. I'm looking again for the connection between fibromyalgia. Oh, this is the article I was looking for. This is it. This is the one. It's entitled Fibromyalgia Syndrome Improved Using a Mostly Raw Vegetarian Diet and Observational Study. This was published in BMC Complementary Medicine and Therapies, and it reads the following. The article written by Michael Donaldson, Neil Spate, and Stephen Loomis in BMC Complementary and Alternative Medicine, article number 7, and it is from September 2001. Abstract reads as follows. Background. Fibromyalgia engulfs patients in downward reinforcing cycle of unrestorative sleep, chronic pain, fatigue, inactivity, and depression. In this study, we tested whether a mostly raw vegetarian diet would significantly improve fibromyalgia symptoms. That is the background. Here's the methods used. 30 people participated in dietary intervention using a mostly raw, pure vegetarian diet. The diet consisted of raw fruits, salads, carrot juices, tubers, grain products, nuts, seeds, and a dehydrated barley grass juice product. Outcomes measured were dietary intake, the Fibromyalgia Impact Questionnaire, SF36 Health Survey, a quality of life survey, and physical performance measurements. Results. 26 patients returned dietary surveys at 2 months. 20 subjects returned surveys at the beginning and at either 2 or 4 months of intervention. 3 subjects were lost to follow up. The mean FIQ score was reduced 46% from 51 to 28. 7 of the 8 SF36 subscales, I don't know what this means, body pain being the exception, showed significant improvement. The QQQOLS scaled from 0 to 7 rose from 3 to 9 initially to 4 to 9 at 7 months. Significant improvements were seen in shoulder pain at rest and after motion, abduction range of motion of shoulder, flexibility, chair test, and 6-minute walk. 19 of 30 subjects were classified as responders with significant improvement on all measured outcomes compared to no improvement among non-responders. At 7 months, responders scores for all scales except bodily pain were no longer statistically different from norms for women ages 4 to 5. Conclusion. This dietary intervention shows that many fibromyalgia subjects can be helped by a mostly raw vegetarian diet. Now, here's what I'm going to do. This article goes on and on and on and on and on. It's a very long article, but I'm going to look for specific words, and I'm going to look for vegetarian, vegetarian. And from here, it's going to have about 20 different references. Let me see what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to go to vegetarian. In this study, we utilize a pure vegetarian diet composed mostly of common fruits, vegetables, nuts, tubers, carrot juice, and dehydrated barley grass while tracking participants. I read that earlier. I'm going to copy, cut, and paste that one in this other document. And I don't have the title for this one, so I've got to go back in this other document and find the title. And it is Fibromyalgia Syndrome Improved Using a Mostly Raw Vegetarian Diet. There it is. And go back, paste that here. Bear with me. This is wonderful. I love doing this. And I get excited, as you can tell, by what I am doing. And going to the end. And here's where we are. Observational study. Here we go. Next, I'm looking only for the words vegetarian in this diet, in this package. This is the background, and 30 people, okay, that talked to, I read that already. In this study, we utilize a pure vegetarian diet. I did that. As mentioned, a vegetarian dietary intervention of fibromyalgia has been tested by 2 investigators in a small study of 10 patients. Hostmark et al. Found a 3-week vegetarian diet produced an improvement in subjective well-being and in the quality, and seen an improvement in quality of life. FIQ and SF36 scores was also seen in our study. And bear with me. I want this. I want it so badly. Okay. And continuing, non-randomized control studies of FMS, investigators saw significant improvement in pain scores and significant less morning stiffness similar to our results. Apparently, the diet was difficult to implement, and no subjects continued with the quote living foods unquote diet. Symptoms returned upon reverting back to a more standard diet, showing even more clearly the association of diet and fibromyalgia syndrome. Maintenance of diets requiring more food preparation time and uncommon foods is difficult, since the diet used here is mainly based on common foods. The long-term adherence to the program is likely to be higher. This is all very, very important. I do have to copy this. Ew, man, it's a mess. I'll straighten it out later. So going forward, maintenance, since the diet here, I read that, subjects learned which foods caused them the most symptoms so that they avoided these foods on a long-term basis. Initial scores using the health survey compared to population norms were very similar to those reported elsewhere. There's no need to copy that. Next, reference to vegetarian. In summary, a diet intervention, usually a mostly raw, pure vegetarian diet, produced dramatic improvements in FMS symptoms, fibromyalgia syndrome symptoms. 19 of 30 participants reported very favorably to the intervention, seeing marked improvement in all FMS symptoms. This dietary intervention shows that many fibromyalgia patients can be helped even without understanding the full cause of their symptoms. Further controlled studies are needed to reproduce and extend the results obtained here to see if this dietary intervention is a viable adjunctive therapy for managing fibromyalgia in a clinical setting. And there, that was good information. I'm going to copy, cut, and paste that. And I think I got it right. No, that's not right. Copy, cut, and paste it. Let me go this one more time. And copy here, and then paste it here. In summary. Okay, I got it. Got it good. Got it real good. Okay, I'm messing with y'all. Hey, listen, I think we're going to finish for today. I hope you found this to be informative. I hope you found it to add to your quality of life. If you are in one of these conditions that we described today, fibromyalgia or celiac disease, then I hope that you do see the value of incorporating functional medicine as part of your therapeutic situation, and that you get the raw food in. I used 4 books for today's study. I referred to 4 of them. The 4th one is The Stem Cell Revolution, which did talk about PRP therapy, platelet-rich plasma therapy, as part of our strategy for controlling this situation. This is very important. And we are here. Where are we? Here we are. We're over here. So do look for and get the book, The Stem Cell Revolution. We also highly recommend Living Superfood Solutions. I mean, the books aren't that expensive either. And if you get 4 of these books and you are able to do like I have been able to do, of course, I have the 3 recipe books, you can eliminate these conditions from your life. If you're suffering from something as painful and persistent, chronic pain all the time as fibromyalgia, what would it be worth to you to finally get rid of it? And you can use these books as guideposts on your journey. I wish you all the best of health. I wish you all fantastic health conditions from here going forward throughout the rest of your life. Do reduce the amount of toxins to which you are exposed to. That's a whole nother research project that I encourage all of you to engage in for life. But we can beat these diseases now. We see very clearly we can beat these diseases. And personally, I think it's worth it. I've dealt with certain conditions, dealing with pain, and I have been able to overcome them because of the way that I live. So I'm going to encourage each and every one of you to live this way too. And that's what we do here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Look for the books. You're going to see them in the section of today's broadcast. You're going to see it down in the timeline. You can always call me, or not call me, text me. Text me if you have any problem for which living superfood can be helpful. If you have a serious condition, you may want to come to our healthy resort that we're conducting here at our home. The text number for you to get in contact with me is 702-580-0662. 702-580-0662. 0662. I wish you all peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIV Radio, LIV TV. We are livinginblack.com.